Alright, round 4 of making this video. I just made a video to find out that the audio wasn't on. Nonetheless, anyways, here in Yerevan, let's do a quick recap of the previous video. Behind me is Mount Ararat, that big one right there. To the left of it is a smaller mountain, not really sure the name of it. Over that way is supposed to be, actually behind those mountains is Turkey. Somewhere, I suppose that way would be Georgia. My original plan was to go from Russia, which is the city of Sochi, to the city of Tbilisi, which is in Georgia, but unfortunately there was no direct flight, so we're here in Yerevan instead, and then from Yerevan we will head over to Tbilisi in Georgia, and from Georgia to Dubai. Okay, so that's hopefully the plan so far. My thoughts of Yerevan, Armenia so far. It's a relatively clean city. The architecture here is really nice. The people are, it's a very safe place to come to. Highly recommended. Kind of actually unexpected because it's in that Middle Eastern area of countries, and typically in those areas it can be a little bit more Wild West-ish, I presume. I had the impression that it was going to be more like Egypt, but unfortunately it's not, or fortunately it's not. So highly recommend you come to Yerevan. The food here is delicious, but of course I've only had shawarma so far. I love shawarma. It's one of my favorite foods. Chicken shawarma especially. And the city itself, I went to see the opera. So there's an opera house down there. I'm on top of some really, really big stairs. They seem to be unfinished so far. But at the bottom is an opera house. I went to an opera last night. I stayed about 35 minutes. Really boring in my opinion. Not really my type of thing. But nonetheless, if you like operas, maybe check it out. The female singer in this opera was really good, but otherwise I didn't really enjoy it. Let's actually give you a little bit more of a sweeping panoramic feel. It's almost sunset, so let's zoom in to the bottom. Okay, there's the opera house. The architecture here is a very distinctive feel. It's a little bit like Middle Eastern with a little bit more investment to it. So it gives you a little bit of the impression that it's a little bit grimy, but it's actually not. It's actually on the verge of development. I saw a couple signs that indicated that there could be a lot of investment coming in from China. And there's a sunset. The plan originally was to go to Jermuk today to see a friend of mine who works in a gold mine, which is about 3 hours from here, but unfortunately I missed my bus, or there wasn't any buses to go today. And yeah, I'm on top of some really big stairs here. So do I recommend checking out Armenia? Definitely, definitely. I went to a historical museum today dedicated to Armenian, the history of Yerevan, so this city itself, and a little quick history of the actual culture here. It used to be I guess you should probably just read Wikipedia about it, but it was eventually taken over by the Soviets. So the Russians eventually kicked out the Persians from here during the Russian imperialist empire, and then the communists came and they took over Armenia as well. So it became a state of the Soviet Union. And then eventually it was freed, but it's still, Armenia has a lot of ties with Russia at the moment. And as well, they currently have a war with Azerbaijan, a conflict over land. Because as well, Azerbaijan is very much supported by Turkey, which committed genocide here a long time ago, about 100 years ago, which killed about 1.2 million people through genocide. So, highly recommend Armenia, well, at least Yerevan, the city itself. And there's a lot of really, I really like the aspect of these mountains. So, unlike St. Petersburg or Moscow or Minsk, these Russian cities, or a lot of the other European cities that I was in, this territory is a lot more hilly. So you can see things are a lot more in the hills themselves. And you can see the stairs themselves are actually not finished. There's like this big empty space here. I presume they're trying to finish it over time, trying to complete it. So Leonidas here for another quick video. And after this, I'm going to Tbilisi, Georgia, after Armenia, that is. So I will see you in the next video. And hopefully we don't have to do 5 tries of making a video. Salute.